Lesson 107 is about Roman numerals, kind of a fun lesson to do. Hopefully you have a little bit of familiarity with this. It can get a little bit technical sometimes, all the little tricky different things, and it'll help to have seen this before. But if not, I mean, that's what this chart's here for. It's going to help us remember all the different ways we do this as a chart, kind of like it on page 333 in your book. A real simple one. That would be a good chart to put into your cheat sheet. Maybe not one this detailed, but just one that reminds you of some of the basic symbols, what's X, what's C. I don't expect you to have those things memorized. Maybe you've seen Roman numerals out in your life before. What are some places you see Roman numerals? I see them on like a movie poster where instead of saying it's the second one, they'll show it as I with, these serifs underneath. Or maybe the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 50 wasn't called 50, it was called L. Or 54 would look like 5, no, sorry. It'd be L, and then 1 less than 5 is 54. You maybe wondered, why do people do it that way? Why do they show it that way? It's another way to do it. It's another way to show numbers, different from what we're used to. There's no one way to show numbers necessarily. Maybe you've always wondered, how can I do that myself? I kind of know how, I kind of get it, but I want to do it better. That's what today's about. And you may notice my program's a little bit different this time. I'm trying to find a program that will produce less lag and freezing, getting kind of frustrated on the previous program, but hopefully this one works out for us. So this chart's going to help us. Let's start by, what's the number 1? Well, it looks kind of like 1, doesn't it? It looks like an I. But instead of place value, instead of writing the number 2, you write I twice. And you write the number 3 as I 3 times. And then 4, what is that? Well, notice 5 is V. And they never write any symbol more than 3 times in a row. You have 3 I's, I have 3 X's, but I don't show 4 as tally, 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 tally. And maybe you can guess why. It just starts to get too repetitive. Instead, they show that as, you put a smaller amount in front of a bigger amount. You show 1 less than 5. The bigger amount being 5. Then you put the smaller amount in front of it, means subtract it from. It literally means 5 minus 1. They'll do the same thing with like the number 9. Instead of showing 9 as V with 4 1s, it's, what's 10? 10 is X. And show 1 less than 10, you put it in front of, instead of after, the X. And that literally means 10 minus 1 is 9. So 9 is shown like that. Versus, don't get mixed up with this. I'm sure dyslexia is terrible doing Roman numerals. What is this worth? That's just like stacking them on before that we were learning. 10 plus 1, that's 11. Okay? So that gives you a basic idea right now of how this works. Got to practice this some, though. And it's going to take work. It's going to take concentration and doing it right. It might be a little frustrating sometimes. We'll do our best. How about 90? 90, again, we can't show the same number 3 times, so we can't show 50 and 4 10s. Instead, I do 50. No, I don't even do that. I do 100 is C, see? And then I take 10 away from C. It's 10 less than C. I'd imagine 99 is going to be this, and then 9 in front after it. That'd be 99. Because 99 is literally, you got to break it up into expanded notation. That's my place value. First show 90 then, which is XC, and then show 9, which is IX, and put it all together to make it look like that. All right, that was, I kind of got ahead of ourselves there for a second. But let's try another one. How about 109? 109, first write the number as we're used to it. And then a helpful device is to write that in expanded notation then. I have 100, I have no 10s, and I have a 9. 100 is shown with a C, 9 is shown with IX, Therefore, my final answer is CIX. Uh, 420. 420 is 400 plus 20. So how do I show 400? Let's take 500 minus 100. So D and a C in front of it is 400. 100 less than 400. And then how do I show 20? Well, you can even check my chart here. It's 2 x's. Put it all together. C, D, X, X. Is that right? Yep. You can find that one on page 334. What if it gives me a Roman numeral and I need to tell you what's the Arabic? What's the one we're used to, accustomed to? What if it says I have the letters D, C, C, L, X, I, V. Yikes. Look at the size of that Roman numeral. Let's break it up and see if we can handle this. D is worth 500. C is worth 100. C again, 100. L, 50. X, 10. And yes, I is worth 1, but I see it in front of a number of bigger value. It should be going from big to small, but instead I see 1 that's out of place and it's just a little dot. It's so small. That means it's got to be one of those where it's less than. 1 less than 5, 1 less than V is 4, right? Therefore, our final answer is 500 plus 100 is 764. So you got to watch out for, basically you just go left to right and then you add it all up like it's expanded notation, but watch out for any values that are out of order when we're not going from biggest to smallest. And if it's out of order, that means it's telling us less than, subtract from. I want you to do practice problems D, E, and F, where you're simply reading and translating into, like we just got done doing, into normal numbers. So practice D, E, and F. Problem set 107 for tomorrow.